Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And that breaking news here in the 8 o'clock hour. A Raleigh shooting investigation. One person hurt near Capitol Boulevard this morning. What we know is police look for the person responsible.
And tragedy in Minneapolis. People in Minnesota and across the globe are mourning after a deadly mass shooting at a Catholic school. How leaders are responding this morning.
And UNC Shooting Memorial. People in Chapel Hill are remembering a faculty member killed in a campus shooting a couple of years ago. How he's being remembered.
And at the bus stop this morning, you may see kids out in jackets. Our temperatures are nice and cool. Nobody needs an umbrella today, but as we look ahead to the holiday weekend, you might. We'll go over it coming up.
There's so much to share with you here in the 8 o'clock hour on Fox 50. We always appreciate your time. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Yeah, Thursday morning, another pleasant start out there. Elizabeth has the sweater. A lot of people have. Jack, am I missing something here? I feel like I should be wearing a sweater today.
Well, you're from New York, so we understand that.
Yeah. It is cool out there, you know, just like we've seen the last couple of mornings. We take a live look here at our Garner camera. So we're looking across Wake County toward Garner. You can see a good bit of cloud cover. As we get closer to lunchtime, those clouds should continue to thin out. We'll see some sunshine later this afternoon. Temperature 60 degrees, well below our normal of 68, and our dew point a very comfortable 57. The dew point in the 50s feels great. That's a measure of moisture in the atmosphere. 50s is a low number. Our temperatures range from mid 50s to low 60s as you're heading out the door this morning. And this afternoon, as the kids get off the bus, temperatures will be comfortable in the low 80s. We continue to have at least a small chance for rain over the holiday weekend. It does not look like a washout, but I'll show you what we're seeing coming up.
All right, Elizabeth, happening down at the WRAL Traffic Center. We've been monitoring this situation on I-87 southbound near Wendell Falls Park with this crash in the clearing phase. You can see right now it's on the shoulder of the road. Some people are observing the move over law, which means you move over one lane when you see first responders working a scene. But right now we're working to get some more information, but this was causing quite the backup over the last half hour, 45 minutes or so. So if you're in a rush, you're coming on I-87 southbound, you need to get around somewhere, your best bet will be to use Knightdale Boulevard as an alternate route to avoid the slowdowns that we're seeing there on I-87 and those southbound lanes near Wendell Falls Parkway. In terms of other major routes coming into the capital city, here's what we're looking at. 13 minutes if you're coming in from Wake Forest this morning, and a 6-minute delay if you're coming in from I-87 to Knightdale Boulevard. Over in Durham, relatively no delays whatsoever. We're seeing about a 7-minute delay on Highway 98. We do want to isolate I-85 because we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown going into Durham this morning. You're looking at an 11-minute delay. You're getting ready to head into the car because of these traffic situations. We keep you updated. 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Ken. Breaking news, police are investigating after a person was hurt in a shooting this morning in Raleigh. It happened on Pine Knoll Drive near Capitol Boulevard. WRAL's Ali Calabar is in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker, and Ali, police still looking for a suspect.
Yes, and we saw police gathering evidence here. This is Graywood Drive. We saw them gathering evidence for more than an hour trying to find that shooter. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker of where this shooting happened. It was on Pine Knoll Drive. That's where officers believe a man was shot around 3:50 a.m. You can see officers gathering evidence in the front yard. They found the man with a gunshot wound around the corner on Graywood Drive. Officers are still searching for that shooter. We know the man was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. We're working to find out what led up to this shooting. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
And more breaking news we are following this morning. A person is in the hospital after a crash in Durham. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was on Cecil Street as officers were jumping out of vehicles to search for that driver. We've reached out to Durham police to confirm more information, including whether that person is facing any charges. And WRAL is working to learn who police are tracking down for a reported shooting in Durham. Police say they got a call around 9:30 last night at the Creekside Townhomes off TW Alexander Drive. When the WRAL Breaking News Tracker got there, our crew saw a car surrounded by evidence markers. We have reached out to Durham police for more information.
Well, people in Minneapolis are mourning today after a deadly shooting at a Catholic school. At least 2 children are dead and more than a dozen injured. Vigils like this one you see right here happening all last night at sunset. Police say the shooting happened at Annunciation Catholic School yesterday as children were attending Mass to mark the first week of school. The Minneapolis police chief says the shooter was outside the church and fired his rifle through a window. An 18-year-old and an 8-year-old, I should say, and a 10-year-old were killed. Another 14 children and 3 adults were also hurt. The shooter was identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. He died at the scene from what police are calling a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Pope Leo responded to yesterday's mass shooting. He said he was profoundly saddened to learn of the tragedy and says he will be praying for the victims, first responders, and clergy. And 10 minutes from now, we're going to hear from a security professional about the challenges that a school like Annunciation faces on its campus.
Well, 2 years ago today here at home, a UNC professor was killed in a shooting on campus. And today, the university will be honoring his memory. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey live on campus this morning to let us know how the university plans to honor Professor C.J. Yen.
Yes, Ken, a memorial site will be dedicated in C.J. Yen's honor here at Caudill Lab, where he died 2 years ago. Yen was an associate professor of applied physical sciences. One of his former students shot and killed him on campus 2 years ago today. Since his death, UNC updated its emergency plan. It's made Alert Carolina messages more clear, enforced response training for staff, and put together a threat assessment unit. The university launched an emergency preparedness training for staff back in April. Last year, UNC added a new feature to the Carolina Ready Safety app called I'm OK. It lets people quickly notify their loved ones about their whereabouts during a campus emergency. The university is hosting that memorial dedication this afternoon at 3 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Chapel Hill.
At least 4 Union Pines High School students are recovering this morning after a pickup truck crashed into a Moore County school bus. Sky 5 was over this scene at the intersection of Vass, Carthage, and Lee's Branch roads yesterday. Highway Patrol says the truck driver lost control before hitting that school bus. The bus ran off the road and the truck overturned. 22 people were on the bus, including the driver. 4 were sent to the hospital. Several others were driven by their parents. WRAL spoke with a parent who rushed to the crash site after getting a call from her daughter.
And one student was being loaded into the ambulance with a neck brace on. So that was confusing and hurtful to the kids.
The driver of the pickup truck has been charged with failure to maintain lane, not wearing a seatbelt, and expired registration.
Well, Michelle, the woman driving this car you see right here that just shot past that school bus, nearly hitting a student, she was found and will be charged. This all happened in Anger and was captured on security video. Police say they identified and located that woman. Officers did not release her name, though, but say she is being charged with passing a stopped school bus. Police set up patrols in that area to keep this from happening again.
College football is back today in the Triangle. Week 1 of the new season gets underway tonight for NC State and Duke, while UNC is just days away from its first game. The Wolfpack preparing to square off against the ECU Pirates tonight. This will be the first time the two schools have seen each other since last year's Military Bowl ended in a brawl on the field. ECU won that game 26-21, but NC State opens up as the favorite tonight. The game is at Carter Finley Stadium at 7 p.m. And the Duke Blue Devils are facing a familiar opponent tonight. The team will be taking on the Elon Phoenix at Wallace Wade Stadium. Duke beat Elon in the opening game last year 26-3. That game starts at 7:30. We will be covering the action before and after the games during our evening newscasts on WRAL.
Of course, not to be left out, the UNC Tar Heels just days away from their opener against TCU. This will be the first game with head coach Bill Belichick leading the charge. Belichick announced that South Alabama transfer Gio Lopez will start the season as the QB. UNC opens at home Monday night, Labor Day night, against TCU.
And the State Board of Elections is entering into a political fight after clearing the way for counties in North Carolina to eliminate Sunday voting. Black churches often lead a Sunday voting push, and black voters lean heavily Democratic. Republicans tried eliminating Sunday voting back in 2013, but that law was struck down as unconstitutional due to racial discrimination. This new effort comes as Republicans have recently retaken control over election rules in North Carolina. You'll find more on what today's vote could mean for future elections on our website, WRAL.com.
Until state lawmakers develop a budget for the coming fiscal year, raises for teachers and state employees will be on hold. Legislative leaders tell WRAL those raises, plus tax rates and more, are at the center of all this. Republicans control both the Senate and the House of Representatives. House GOP members say they don't expect negotiations to pick back up until next month. For a detailed explanation of the debate, and find this story on the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.
Coming up, school safety. Experts we spoke with say the scene of the school shooting in Minneapolis creates unique security challenges. What questions still remain after the deadly tragedy?
And students hospitalized. Several middle schoolers in eastern North Carolina ate what is being called a candy-like substance, what investigators are trying to figure out after the medical emergency situation.
And you know, we're in a sweet spot. College football is starting, but we still have baseball. The Bulls game should be perfect weather-wise. Temperature at game time in the upper 70s, and we'll see partly cloudy skies. Coming up, we're going to talk about our chances for rain, though, for the holiday weekend.
And here are your winning Powerball numbers: 9, 12, 22, 41, 61. The Powerball is 25. The multiplier is 4. No winner. Last night, the jackpot for Saturday is $950 million.
8:13, and it's almost the holiday weekend. Can I tempt you with a view of Carolina Beach? It is cloudy there right now, but I mean, the beach is always beautiful, right? Cloudy or not cloudy. We do have a low pressure system that's going to come sneaking up toward us from the south over the holiday weekend, and that means we could have a few isolated showers in our southern counties on Saturday. Temperatures at the beach likely to be in the low to mid 80s, very comfortable. Same thing again on Sunday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms mostly across the southern part of the coast. If you're headed to the mountains, things look pretty quiet. Again, a small chance of a shower or storm mainly in the south. Temperatures will be in a wide range, 69 in Highlands versus 72 in Boone. And on Sunday, same story. Some places will be as warm as 81 in Bryson City and 78 in Asheville. Now, around here, we'll have comfortable temperatures. We do have a small chance for rain. We'll go over that coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, that crash we've been monitoring to the east of WRAL in I-87 in the southbound lanes near Windham Falls Parkway has completely cleared, but we're still seeing some lingering delays in those southbound lanes. So you're getting ready to head out this morning. Maybe you're coming from Wendell, you're coming from Zebulon, and you're in a rush. You can still see the huge delays it's causing there on I-87. Your best bet would be to use Knightdale Boulevard as an alternate route to avoid the slowdowns that we're seeing on I-87 in those southbound lanes. I'll have an update on delay times coming up shortly.
All right, thank you, Ken. After tragedies such as the school shooting in Minneapolis, many people turn their attention to safety and topics like how to prevent shootings and how to respond to dangerous threats when they happen. In the case of Annunciation Catholic School, there are 2 buildings on campus, the church and the school. The shooting happened at the church during Mass. Security professionals are taking a close look at the situation. One person we spoke with says this environment creates a unique challenge.
Have you ever practiced or discussed how you would do a lockdown or an evacuation in a church setting? How do you manage access control? Who's coming in to attend the Mass along with the hundreds of students and staff you have?
In addition to shooting drills, security professionals are also looking into mental and behavioral health. Investigators are still looking into the shooter's motive. An investigation is underway after 8 middle school students were sent to the hospital in Carteret County. Officials say this happened after they ate a candy-like substance. School administrators at Broad Creek Middle School were notified of a medical emergency yesterday. The sheriff's office says parents were notified and the students appeared to be doing okay. Investigators are looking into what the specific substance was and if there will be any charges.
A Surrey County elections officials is accused of drugging his granddaughter's ice cream. County Chair James Yockley told police the girls found pills in their ice cream. He was charged with felony child abuse, and here's why. Police say they obtained video from the Dairy Queen on Oleander Drive in Wilmington. Officers say it shows Yockley spiking the ice cream himself. Authorities say they believe he used ecstasy and cocaine. Yockley is out on bond this morning.
The Highway Patrol is launching a new initiative to stop human trafficking. It's called Operation Highway Guardian. State, county, and local law enforcement agencies will be stationed along I-40 all across North Carolina.
They're going to be stopping in rest stops. They're going to be going to restaurants, to hotels during this holiday weekend to be a part of our initiative, be a part of combating human trafficking. What can we do in law enforcement, but what can our partners in the communities that might see something, and what could they pick up on as being a clue and then contact us to help us to combat this crime.
Highway Patrol will release its data from the operation once it's complete.
Well, the lineup for the upcoming Hopscotch Music Festival in downtown Raleigh looks a little different right now. This comes after the metal band Interceptor was announced as part of the event. There were complaints and pushback about the band's messaging and image. The band has now been removed from the lineup. The festival will be held September 4th through the 6th.
Kelmar Abrego Garcia will stay in the U.S. for at least a few more weeks. This is because a judge paused the Trump administration's effort to deport him to Uganda. The judge asked the administration to testify about those plans in a hearing scheduled for October 6th. Garcia was mistakenly deported to El Salvador. Since his return to the U.S., he has sought asylum. The Trump administration has accused Garcia of human smuggling, which he denies.
Well, speaking of the Trump administration, it is planning a takeover of Washington, D.C.'s Union Station. The Department of Transportation making the announcement yesterday, echoing the president's plans to address crime all across the city. The station is a big travel hub for Amtrak and the D.C.'s Metro lines. It's been under Amtrak management for a little over a year now.
First came the removal of a memorial to Pulse nightclub shooting victims. The fallout from that led to the removal of the checkered crosswalks outside Daytona International Speedway. This is part of what Florida is calling statewide standardization. City leaders in Daytona Beach say the checkered crosswalk was removed overnight yesterday. A statewide order requires non-compliant surface pavement associated with social or political ideologies to be removed. Critics are calling the change part of an attack on the LGBTQ community.
Former UNC basketball head coach Roy Williams is receiving the state's highest civilian honor. He's one of 6 people to receive the North Carolina Award. He won nearly 500 games at UNC. That made him the second winningest coach in school history, of course, after Dean Smith. He led the Tar Heels to 3 national championships. Williams is in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame and received the Order of the Longleaf Pine last year.
Rockets lit up the night sky in our viewing area last night. Look at this. NASA's sounding rockets took off from Virginia, making these vapor trails. Viewers sent in pictures via Reported from Cary and Franklinton, and NASA says the launch gives a clear 3D view of turbulence at the edge of space. That is pretty cool. I love it. All right, let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. No severe weather today. It's beautiful out there.
It is. We have another very pleasant day in our forecast. A little bit of cloud cover out there right now. We should see those clouds dissipating by lunchtime or just after. Highs will be in the low 80s, just a touch warmer than yesterday, but still really feeling pleasant. Our humidity stays nice and low for today and at least for tomorrow. Then after that, it starts to creep up a little bit over the weekend, and I'll explain the changes coming up. Right now, it's fairly cloudy in Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, and Chapel Hill. Chapel Hill's courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. But look at that. A little bit of Carolina blue sky trying to peek through already there. Our temperatures range from the mid-50s to low 60s currently as you're heading out the door. We're watching a front that's down to the south. This is the same front that came across the area on Monday, and behind it we've had such lovely weather. This high pressure system, we can thank for that. That high will start to move on out, and another low starts to develop along the front and push closer to us. Here's the thing. It'll depend on how close that low comes to us to show us how much rain we may see. Some of the models have kind of, been wobbling that northward and southward. The farther north it goes, the more rain we'll see. But you can see it's basically going to be our southern counties. We take a look at Futurecast kicking it off Saturday morning. Notice how we have a few showers down closer to the Wilmington area, closer to the coast. And then by 6 p.m. Saturday, from the Triangle area southward, we have the potential for a few light showers. That may continue on and off overnight. And then on Sunday, this version of Futurecast shows a switch in the wind already. It has that low sinking farther south, and we stay pretty dry on Sunday. But the models have been kind of all over the place with this. We're going to leave 30% on for Saturday and Sunday. Just keep checking back if you have outdoor plans over the holiday weekend. We do have very little rainfall accumulation showing up on our map. So again, this looks like it'll be fairly light. A little warmer Saturday at 83, a little cooler Sunday. Right now, Monday is looking dry. Of course, on Monday, TCU plays at UNC. It's going to be UNC's first home game. Right now, it looks dry and comfortable. 7 o'clock, 74 degrees. Checking the tropics. Things are pretty quiet. Frenan has dissipated, but we have another slight chance of a storm developing off the coast of Africa in the next 7 days. We also have very comfortable temperatures in our forecast. Friday's 85 will be the warmest day. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. That situation on I-87 and those southbound lanes near Wendell Falls Parkway, that crash is clear, but we're still seeing some lingering delays all along I-87 this morning from Wendell Falls Parkway all the way into Smithfield Road exit. So just keep that in mind if you're about to head out this morning. You're probably looking at a 3 to 5 minute delay. We want to take you outside and give you a live look now. As you take a spin around the Beltline, let's start with the southern loop of the Beltline. It's really I-40 Lake Wheeler Road. This time of the morning, actually looking pretty good. Not bad this morning if that's part of your morning commute.
All right, thank you, Ken. Coming up for us, a recall alert. More than 350,000 Ford trucks are part of it. The tech glitch that impacts your ability to see how fast you're going. And student mental health, a change in behavior or appearance could be a sign of a struggle.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. A beautiful Thursday, beautiful start. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. A little cloudy, but it's going to be beautiful later.
Check out Franklinton. A little bit of blue sky trying to break up, seeing some sunshine trying to peek through in a few places, including right here in Franklinton. It feels great when you step out the door. Temperatures are pleasant. It's a cooler 55 in Roxborough, but it's 61 in Fayetteville. So anywhere between the mid 50s and low 60s is what you'll feel heading out the door. With our low humidity, it's perfect for a morning run, a walk, get out with a dog, whatever it is you like to do. This afternoon, also comfortable in the low 80s with partly cloudy skies. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now, we're still seeing some lingering delays as a result of that crash that happened on I-87 in the southbound lane near Wendell Falls Parkway. It's a situation that we've been following all morning long, but that crash scene has cleared. But right now, in terms of delays, you're looking at a 3-minute delay. So we were giving you an alternate route of Knightdale Boulevard, but clearly just a 3-minute delay. Even though you're seeing a little bit of congestion there, you will get to your destination on time, because once you get past Wendell Falls Parkway, it's clear sailing all the way into the capital city. The real trouble spot really is US 1 Capitol Boulevard coming in from Wake Forest this morning.
All right, thank you, Ken. A man was sent to the hospital this morning after a shooting in Raleigh. This happened on Pine Knoll Drive near Capitol Boulevard. The victim has non-life-threatening injuries. Police say they do not have a suspect in custody. And a person is in the hospital after a crash in Durham. The WRAL breaking news tracker was on Cecil Street as officers were jumping out of vehicles to search for the driver. We've reached out to Durham police to confirm more information and whether that person is facing charges. Next on Fox 50, a new memorial at UNC Chapel Hill 2 years after a shooting on campus. And coming up on Today, the groundbreaking treatment giving hope to people with ALS.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Yeah, breaking news is all about a shooting in Raleigh this morning. Police say a man was shot near Capitol Boulevard, where the search stands for the person responsible.
Firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible.
People in Minnesota and across the country coming together after a school shooting. The reactions pouring in worldwide.
And our next two weather makers, of course, the cool air that continues to linger, and Labor Day, a low that could bring us a chance of showers.
And I hear the celebrating already. College football is back. The season getting started tonight right here in the Triangle. The local matchups kicking it all off. And we'll tell you all about it here in this half hour. 8:30 right now here on Fox 50. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. The clouds starting to part, clear way, give way to some sunshine. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a beautiful look. I love this look. The WRAL studio tower. Look at the clouds.
Isn't this neat? The clouds are starting to break up a little bit. Almost a cumulus look to them. They look sort of puffy, you know, like marshmallows, that sort of thing. But a little blue trying to sneak through here. 60 degrees currently at RDU, and our dew point's 57. So it's still a very comfortable start this morning. As long as that dew point is in the 50s, it feels really good this time of year. 61 Southern Pines and Fayetteville, 60 in Durham and Rocky Mount, 55 up in Roxborough. Getting off the school bus this afternoon, temperatures will be slightly warmer than yesterday in the low 80s. Even though it's cloudy in some places, today stays nice and dry, but we're still looking at a chance of some showers over the holiday weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WO Traffic Center. We continue to monitor that situation on I-87 in the southbound lanes. There was a crash right there at Wendell Falls Parkway, but you can still see the lingering delays all along I-87 in the southbound lanes all the way to Smithview Road. But right now, you're just looking at a 6-minute delay when you look at it. So really and truly, if you're in a desperate rush, you might want to take Nightdale Boulevard as an alternate route. Hey, let's take a spin around the Beltline, shall we? Let's start on the southern loop of the Beltline. This time of the morning, free and clear. Look at this. No delays whatsoever on that southern loop. A little bit of a slowdown on that northern loop as we take a live look at I-440 and New Bern Avenue this morning. But again, nothing really that's going to make you late. In terms of major routes coming into the capital city, here's what we're looking at. The real trouble spot. Our friends in Wake Forest, you got a 9-minute delay coming in on US 1 Capitol Boulevard. That's a 7-minute delay that we're seeing coming in from I-87 in Nightdale Boulevard. But over in Durham, very little to no delays, relatively speaking. We got about a 10-minute delay if you're coming in on Highway 98. You're getting ready to head into the car. You don't have to leave us. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Right now, police in Raleigh are investigating after a reported shooting. Officers say a man was found shot overnight near Graywood Drive and Capitol Boulevard. That's where we find WRAL's Ali Calabar live in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. And Raleigh police say that man is now in the hospital being treated.
Yes, police tell me that he has life-threatening injuries, and he was actually found here on Graywood Drive, but the shooting, it happened down the road. And so this is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker on Pine Knoll Drive. Raleigh police say a man was shot there around 3:50 a.m. Officers found the man with a gunshot wound around the corner on Graywood Drive. The man had non-life-threatening injuries, and officers are still searching for that suspect. They are going through that evidence that they collected here about 4.5 hours ago. We're working to find out what led up to this shooting. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
Here's something else we're working to learn more about, a scene that Durham police have been working all night long. Durham police telling us they got a call reporting a shooting around 9:30 last night at the Creekside Townhomes off TW Alexander Drive. When the WRAL Breaking News Tracker got to that scene, our crew saw a car surrounded with evidence markers. We've reached out to Durham police for more information. As soon as we get it, we'll share it with you.
We are also working to learn what caused a crash that sent a person to the hospital this morning in Durham. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was on Cecil Street as officers were jumping out of vehicles to search for the driver. We have reached out to Durham police to confirm more information, including whether that person is facing any charges.
Well, 2 people are seriously hurt after a high-speed chase ended in a crash in Cumberland County. The State Highway Patrol says the chase started near Highway 87 and I-95 just before 11 last night. The car later crashed into a tree about 11 miles away near Clinton and Blue Sand Hill roads. Well, take a look at your screen. You can see this video of the car's front end was smashed in by the impact of that crash. Troopers say charges are pending.
This morning, people in Minneapolis are grieving after yesterday's deadly shooting at a Catholic school. At least 2 children are dead, more than a dozen are injured. Thousands gathered for vigils across Minneapolis to remember those victims. Police say the shooting happened just before 8:30 in the morning at Annunciation Catholic School. The school was in the middle of a morning worship service marking the first week of school. A shooter opened fire, killing 2 children, 8 and 10 years old. 17 others were rushed to hospitals. The Minneapolis police chief calling the shooting a morning of horror.
This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children and other people worshiping. The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible.
Officers have identified 23-year-old Robin Westman, who died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The FBI says this is now a domestic terrorism investigation.
Well, today, UNC Chapel Hill will honor Professor C.J. Yen. He died 2 years ago in an on-campus shooting. Now, a new memorial site is being dedicated in his honor. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains how the university has changed since that shooting.
A memorial will be dedicated in C.J. Yen's honor here at Cottle Lab, where he died. Yen was an associate professor of applied physical sciences. One of his former students shot and killed him on campus 2 years ago today. Since his death, UNC updated its emergency plan. It's made Alert Carolina messages more clear, enforced response training for staff, and put together a threat assessment unit. The university launched an emergency preparedness training for staff back in April. Last year, UNC added a new feature to the Carolina Ready Safety app called I'm OK. It lets people quickly notify their loved ones about their whereabouts during a campus emergency. The university is hosting that memorial dedication this afternoon at 3 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Chapel Hill.
A pickup truck driver is facing charges this morning after a crash that ran a school bus off the road. 4 Union Pines High School students were taken to the hospital after the crash on Bass Carthage Road in Moore County. It happened at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. State Highway Patrol says the pickup truck driver lost control of his truck and trailer. He crashed right into the school bus, which ran off the road. 21 students were on board. The truck and trailer overturned.
One lane on Tryon Road in Raleigh will be closed for another week and a half at least. Emergency repairs on a major sewer line between Avon Ferry Road and Gorman Street began 11 days ago. Wake County Public Schools had to adjust some bus routes while the work is happening. The city expects the road to fully reopen by September 5th.
An animal shelter in eastern North Carolina is closed down because of repeated issues there. The SPCA of northeastern North Carolina in Elizabeth City has 30 days to find homes for all of its animals. The state cited the shelter for issues like poor cleaning standards, not giving animals care quickly enough, and not maintaining medical records. The shelter has to pay a $14,000 penalty. It has 2 months to pay up or appeal the ruling.
All right, tonight the college football season gets started right here in the Triangle. NC State hosting ECU to open the season at Carter Finley Stadium. That game kicks off at 7 p.m. Now, the Wolfpack and Pirates ended last season on really a sour note with a large fight at the end of their matchup in the Military Bowl. 8 players were ejected from that game. 2 Wolfpack players will be suspended for the first half of tonight's game because of their roles in that brawl.
And Duke will also be at home tonight to get the season started. They'll host Elon at Wallace Wade Stadium. This is the second season in a row the Blue Devils and the Phoenix have played in the season opener. Last year, Duke won that game 26-3. Tonight's game will kick off at 7:30.
And looking ahead to Monday night, the Chapel Hill era will get started when UNC hosts TCU. Kickoff for that game at Kenan Stadium, 8 p.m. WRAL will have full team coverage ahead of that Labor Day night matchup.
Today, State School Superintendent Mo Green will visit Nash Early College High School. He plans to meet with staff and have lunch with students. This is all part of his tour of schools across the state.
Today, we'll get an update on the future of downtown Raleigh. The Downtown Raleigh Alliance will present its annual State of Downtown report today. It breaks down the market trends, insights, and data the group uses to guide its decisions about downtown's direction. Leaders will also discuss ideas for connecting downtown with Dix Park. The event gets started at 3 this afternoon at the Martin Marietta Center for the Performing Arts.
The Powerball jackpot is growing again. It is now $950 million after last night's drawing had no grand prize winner. The jackpot is now the 6th biggest it has ever been. There have been 38 drawings since the last jackpot winner. The next drawing will be Saturday night. You can watch it live at 11 p.m. over on WRAL.
Well, coming up at 8:40 now, student mental health. Going back to school can be a rather stressful time for children, so How can you help your child and your student? 5 on Your Side's Ashley Rowe explaining the first steps you can take to help better your child's mind.
And a Ford recall alert to tell you about a hidden glitch could leave drivers in the dark, literally. What owners of thousands of pickup trucks need to do right now.
Heading to break, we want to give you a live look at Roxborough there in Person County. Good morning to Roxborough. Also, our friends over at Hyco Lake. We do appreciate you always joining us. We're starting off the morning cool once again before we warm up to around the 80s. Perfect football weather, right? Meteorologist Elizabeth Garner explaining if you'll need a jacket tonight in your game day forecast.
8:44. Look at this blue sky that's starting to break out over RDU. We're not seeing that everywhere, but definitely sort of a hint of what's to come as we get through the afternoon. We'll see more and more sunshine. Heading out the door right now, temperatures range from mid-50s to low 60s. 61 in Holly Springs. It's 59 in Roxborough, 60 in Garner, 60 degrees in Rocky Mount. After school practices still feel good today. A little bit warmer than yesterday, 82 at 3 o'clock, but by 5 o'clock we're back to 80 degrees. The humidity does stay low today, and this evening will be perfect for another baseball game there at the Bulls. 78 degrees around 6 o'clock, 73 at 8 o'clock. Lots of football games for tonight for colleges, NC State, as well as Duke. Weather looks great for all of that, Ken.
Excellent. Elizabeth, listen, we're going to start in the Bull City, I-885, because we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown in those northbound lanes going into the Bull City this morning. It's a situation I've been looking at for quite some time. So things are getting better. You're seeing a little bit of a slowdown really between the I-40 interchange and TW Alexander Drive. You're looking at a 6-minute delay going into Durham, just a 4-minute delay if you're using I-885 to get to I-40 at this hour.
All right, thank you, Ken. A new school year can mean new stress for students. So what can parents do to help? 5 on Your Side's Ashley Rowe explains what a child psychiatrist says is a good first step.
Signs that a child is struggling with their mental health aren't always obvious, but there are plenty of strategies to help figure out what's going on and cope. A recent back-to-school event at the Findlay YMCA in Raleigh taught kids how to use breathing to stay calm, identify and describe anxiety, and get more comfortable with doctor's visits. It's part of an effort to help identify and get help faster for kids struggling with mental health. Board-certified child psychiatrist Dr. John Looney spoke at the event and says if parents are concerned about a change in behavior they're seeing, start by talking to their teacher and school counselor.
School counselors, particularly in the first grades, are pretty good about helping knowing what's kind of a normal layer of anxiety or anger, and what is popping up is higher than that. So that's I think the first resource.
Knowing the right questions to ask about children's mental health can be hard. So 5 on Your Side got a group of parents together with a doctor, counselor, and social worker to help guide you. Their conversation tonight on WRAL News. Ashley Rowe, 5 on Your Side.
Well, the newly installed director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is out after refusing to resign under pressure from the Trump administration. The Department of Health and Human Services announcing yesterday Susan Menares has been terminated as CDC director, but her attorneys say she has not gotten notification from the White House that she's been fired, and they say she has no plans to step down. Menares was appointed by President Trump and confirmed late last month. No reason has been given for her firing.
Many Ford owners will need to make a trip to the dealer. The automaker is recalling more than 355,000 of its pickup trucks due to a technical glitch. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the instrument panel display could go blank. That would prevent the driver from seeing information including speed and warning lights. Ford says no injuries or accidents related to the issue have been reported. 9 different Ford models and model years are included in this recall.
Well, UNC football coach Bill Belichick has kept it close to the vest on who his starting quarterback will be this season until now. Belichick announcing that Gio Lopez will start against TCU on Labor Day night. Belichick says Lopez improved a lot during camp and expects him to keep getting better.
Yeah, Gio's made a ton of progress. We've evaluated things through training camp, and as now we get ready for TCU, he'll be our starting quarterback. So we'll give him the majority of the reps in practice and make sure that we get him, as much preparation as possible. But everybody needs to be ready to go.
Oh, man, the energy in Chapel Hill Monday night is going to be off the chains. Lopez transferred to UNC this season after previously playing at South Alabama.
Taylor Swift fashion and a major announcement on the way from Ariana Grande, Ken.
Yeah, let's start with what's trending. And of course, she is still trending after those engagement photos. But here's why. The dress she wore when Travis Kelce got down on one knee and proposed sold out. Swifties quickly bought out the more than $300 Ralph Lauren dress in every size, Michelle.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's no doubt. Ralph Lauren said, oh, Taylor Swift's getting engaged. Ooh, dollar signs, because every single person in the world is going to want to buy my dress.
Look, she's got the Midas touch, and it's a lovely dress, actually.
It's nice. It's cute. I like it.
You could totally rock that.
I would.
Hey, Ariana Grande fans are getting excited about a mysterious Instagram post. The Grammy Award-winning actress and singer posted a video with the message, "See you next year, announcement loading." So, Michelle, inquiring minds want to know, is it a tour? Is it an album? What's happening here?
I think it's a tour. That's my guess. It's been a little while since she's done a tour.
True.
And she's great. She's
been busy with Wicked.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's been busy with. She's captivating though. So if she does a tour, it's going to sell out immediately.
Oh.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to want to hear her sing
Yes.
all those Wicked songs and her hit songs as well.
100%. All right. Well, a Netflix series shot in North Carolina will not get another season. The creator of The Waterfront says the streaming service did not renew the show for a second season. It focused on a fictional family living on the North Carolina coast. The show debuted near the top of Netflix streaming charts. The showrunner did not say what led to the decision.
Hey, another show about the Karen Reed murder trial is reportedly in the works. Deadline reporting Elizabeth Banks has signed on to play Reed in the upcoming limited series. It's being developed by Prime Video and Warner Brothers. This is separate from a scripted project Reed herself announced along with her defense attorney. Reed was acquitted earlier this summer of murdering her police officer boyfriend.
All right, let's switch gears now and get over to weather. Meteorologist Elizabeth Garner, the WRAL Severe Weather Center, with a nice look over Chapel Hill. Another pretty chilly start out there, but it's going to warm up so nicely.
Yeah, we started in the 50s in a lot of places. Starting to see the temperatures creeping up a little bit as we're getting closer to 9 o'clock now. Also seeing a bit more sunshine. Look at this. You can see some shadows here on Columbia Street right there at the intersection of Franklin Street. Looking pretty there in Chapel Hill. And the Triangle right now 60 degrees and our dew point remains in the 50s. That's the measure of moisture in the atmosphere, and as long as it's in the 50s this time of year, it doesn't feel humid. So we're happy to see that continuing, of course. 61 Southern Pines and Fayetteville, 60 in Durham and Rocky Mounts, 59 right now in Roxborough. Around the Triangle, looking at low 60s, 63 in Cary, 62 Apex, 60 in Knightdale, 61 up in Wake Forest. Around town, we're looking at low 80s in the Triangle, 85 in Fayetteville. So that's a little warmer than yesterday, but because our humidity stays low, you shouldn't notice a huge difference. Football is back, so exciting. Of course, NC State and Duke both have home openers for this evening. Tailgating, 81 degrees if you're going to be out there around 4 or 5 o'clock. Kickoff 7 or 7:30. Temperatures should be near 70, and then in the mid 60s later on this evening after sunset. May want to take along a jacket. You won't need it to start with, but later on in the evening it could get cool quickly. Our normal high is 87, and we're below that. The warmest day of the week is likely to be Friday at 85. Other than that, we keep it in the low 70s. We've had a couple of chilly mornings. Our normal low is 68. We'll see 61 tomorrow, similar to this morning. And then it's a little warmer Saturday and Sunday because we'll have more cloud cover. We're going to see more moisture creeping in Saturday and Sunday. We bounce back. We'll see the dew point back into the 60s because we have a small chance for showers. It's a 30% chance on Saturday and Sunday. Through Labor Day weekend, we're looking at just a few isolated showers, especially for the southern half of the state. Right now, Labor Day looks pretty sunny and comfortable, too, at a high of around 80 degrees. Look at those low 80s as we kick off next week.
All right, thank you very much, Elizabeth. Before we go to break, here are your winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic next.